let's begin our look into distinguishing between holes and vertical asymptotes in rational functions with our function here f of x. 3x minus 18 over x squared minus 9x plus 18. Our first stop, as always, should be to give some consideration to the factored form of this rational function. We factor the numerator, and we factor the denominator. This factorization of the denominator gives us two restricted values. These are going to be our candidates for the holes and the asymptotes. We have a restricted value at x is equal to 3, and we have a restricted value at x is equal to 6. If we continue our cancellation and our simplification, we see that the numerator and the denominator have the same factor, x minus 6. If we simplify that factor out, we are left with a final simplified form of 3 over x minus 3. Still restricted at 3 and 6. But it's the cancellation of this factor, x minus 6, that reveals to us the unique characteristic of a hole. If the factor that contributed a particular restricted value, so this x minus 6 factor contributed the value of x is equal to 6 to the restricted part of the domain. If that factor is canceled or simplified through the process of simplification, then that is going to be a location where this graph will have a hole. If it's not factored and simplified, like the factor x minus 3, that's where we can anticipate the presence of a vertical asymptote. Because this factor, x minus 6, was simplified out of the rational function, this number 6 will actually work as an input of the final form. Despite the fact that it works as an input of the final form, that's where we're going to have our hole. So if we attempted to calculate f of 6, we would get 3 over 6 minus 3, which is 3 over 3, which is 1. Which tells me that yes, I'm going to have a hole there. That factor that contributed that restricted value was simplified out, and that the hole is going to be at the 0.61. Because when I try to use that value in my simplified form, it works, but I have to know going in that that's where the hole is going to be. So while I have one vertical asymptote, I also have the one hole.